What is up? How is the Legion of Comic Collectors doing tonight? Welcome to another episode of Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. I, of course, am Tim the Comic Collector, and I'm joined by my buddies Tony Fett, Magic Lasso, and then special guest tonight, Copy 801. What's up, man?
What's going on, Tim? What's going on, everybody? How are you?
Doing good. Glad to have you guys on.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me back.
So let's check
Oh
the
yeah,
chat out. I see Connor is here. What is up, man? Of course, we have Tony's mom, a regular in the chat. Good to see you.
She's learning a lot about superheroes.
And BA Wars, what's up, buddy? I see BA all around the different chats I go to. So, at least from what I saw this week, I didn't see too much news. You guys got anything?
I didn't either. I started looking as well. Pretty much the only thing that I saw is the Batcave has a new name, and that's it.
Yeah, I saw that. It's I have the issue, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but it has a new name. And
I
I
mean,
actually think the Batcave is a better name for it than what they chose. My personal opinion.
yeah. You got anything, Tony? Tony's usually the news guru.
Yes, I do. If you remember a while back, we talked about Ben Affleck and his future as Batman, and there was a rumor going around that he might be coming back as Batman, even when the Flash movie is over. Well, it sounds like that is probably more fact than rumor at this point, where it sounds like he's getting his own HBO Max live action series called Batman: The Arkham Knight. So we'll see. Hopefully that is true, because his Ben Affleck's production company or whatever he's called just signed a big deal with HBO and Warner Brothers and HBO Max. So that just adds more fuel onto that fire. That rumor is more probably true than anything, which is good because it keeps the DCEU alive, which is great.
I would love if I could have anything made. I want to see Ben Affleck's script of Batman get made.
Yeah, that would be nice.
My feeling with him is he's a true fan. I always harken back to what was it, Mallrats, where he's like explaining what Wizard Magazine is. Like, him and Kevin Smith in real life, all those people are huge comic nerds. So I feel like Affleck would have made a fantastic movie.
Yeah, you're right. Some more info has come out about Justice League Dark live action series on HBO Max. They released just the characters that are going to be in it. So I think without question, we know that John Constantine is one of them. Zatanna for sure. We know that those two are already getting an HBO Max spinoff, so that's kind of no real surprise there. But this next couple ones were big ones for me. Nightmaster is making his silver screen debut.
So do we get Detective Chimp too?
I don't see a Detective Chimp. And
man.
he is listed as a series regular, so that's kind of cool. We get a Swamp Thing is listed on here, but it is not listed as a series regular. So maybe he's just in a couple episodes or something. And we have narrated by the Phantom Stranger with appearances by the Spectre.
Okay.
And that's all we got so far. So this is looking legit. I'm excited. I'm a big Justice League Dark guy, so this is speaking to me. So the more I read about it, the more excited I get.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's for news. Those are the big ones that I've got.
Yeah, I don't think there was even a lot of comic news. Like, it seems like the last few weeks they were announcing all kinds of new series and stuff.
I think it's mostly because we don't know if it's true yet that the future of DC Comics, and if Ethan Van Sciver is right, and if he is, what degree, or if they're going to go all digital, they're going to stay in print, or they're going to license the characters out to someone. Who was it? Tyler Kirkman was in talks to take over all of DC Comics. So I think they're maybe waiting to figure out who's going where and what's gonna happen. I think in the long run.
Did you guys reading any of the new books this week?
No, not really. I'm still trying to put away the books I still have.
I have them. I have mine out of reach, but I specifically ordered a little heavy this week because of the Asian superhero special, and I really wanted to get the art germ cover of Cassandra Cain because I love Cassandra Cain.
And Art Germ's art is amazing.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Something I didn't realize till after I started seeing on Instagram. It's like a homage of his earlier Batgirl covers, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, there you go. There's a nice cover. Nice. That's
homage
a good
to
cover.
Batgirl number 12.
Yeah. I haven't got a chance to read it yet. The only book I read this week was Justice League Last Ride. And I wanted to point something out. I don't know if anyone else noticed this, because this is a book that's like set in between future state and what's going on right now, right? Like after the Justice Leagues broke up, they do a mission. You guys notice Alfred's alive in the book?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm like reading that, like, what? Is he coming back, I guess? Or was this like a, no editors around to fix it mistake?
Sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's all I've got. It's like zero news this week.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. Sometimes my phone goes off and I get alerts, but those are the two big ones that I saw. So actually, I hope both of them are not rumors. I hope they are both 100% non-disputable fact. That would just be a win, I think, for us as fans to get that kind of news. No editors. Yeah, you're right.
No editors.
But
right.
yeah, I guess we'll just skip the news.
Well,
not a whole lot.
Well, I guess one other thing, it's probably a big if, but do any of you guys watch been keeping up with the CW shows?
I have.
I watched
so far behind.
Did you watch the first episode of what's it called? Legends of Tomorrow?
That's the only one I haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
But you can talk about it. Go ahead and talk about it.
No, I was just gonna add, well, you might know this anyway, because I hadn't watched it in a while. What happened to the Atom?
He quit.
He quit?
I mean, I don't know if the actor Brandon Routh, I know he moved on from the character. I don't know how they sent him off.
Okay. Yeah, because I hadn't watched it in a while, and I click in, and I'm like, keep waiting for him to show up. It never did.
Nothing never came back. Well, that's a shame too, because Brandon Routh, I think he's a good actor. He obviously has a great relationship with Warner Brothers because he was Superman at one point. I thought he did a great Adam.
He did a fantastic Adam.
I think he's legendary status, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
He was Superman, he was the Atom, and then he did the Kingdom Come Superman, like bringing it full circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That's what I liked when the best was the Kingdom Come Superman. That was
I didn't realize the character, I don't know the actress name, Nora Dark, Damien Dark's daughter or whatever. That's his real life wife.
Yep.
I did not know that.
And he is super tall. Brandon is super tall, and his wife is super tiny. So weren't we talking about that with Keith Urban and his wife?
Yeah, we were last week. Yeah,
another piece of that too, where one is super tall and one isn't.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were married either until I saw them on an interview. I'm like, wait, they're married in real life? I'm like, that's why they.
Yeah, that's why they work so well together. All the arguments weren't scripted; they were live.
But yeah, it's that, and Superman's the only one I watch anymore. But I might watch Flash soon, just because I see Impulse is coming and XS is back.
I don't know. I've been so disappointed in Flash. Flash used to be such a fantastic show. And when I watched this past week's, I was ready just, I didn't even want to finish the episode. It took me to that level. And
I was watching
everything. It's the same thing over and over. They've told the story that they're doing now so many times. They've already realized going back and traveling in time doesn't work. Don't do another story about it.
That, and
But,
I
like,
know they're having a hard time convincing Grant Gustin to stay on.
Yeah, and
So-
he's great. Don't get me
He's
wrong. I
probably
think
smart.
the talent is really cast very well, and they're good. It's the writing on the shows, that and
It's
Supergirl.
awful. Yeah.
The writing on
But-
both of those shows, I've been so
Well-
frustrated with.
With Flash, I was watching last season and it kind of bored me. And I actually watch on the CW app on my Roku. So after an amount of time, those episodes will disappear.
Yeah.
So I got excited when this season started, and I click in, and it's the same story. I'm like, they never finished this terrible story from last season.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's it's bad. I guess this is a little bit of news, but like with Gustin talking about leaving, and supposedly Cisco and Kate are leaving too. You're doing bad when actors are sort of like, we don't want your money anymore. We just want to go.
Yeah, we just want to leave.
We're done.
Yeah, we don't have another job, but we don't want this job.
Yeah, and it's such a great cast. Like the guy that plays Wells.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Tom
man.
Cavanaugh. Yeah,
You could
great
just make a
dude.
show about Wells, and I'd watch it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the
Great
casting's
cast.
same with Supergirl. The casting's really good. It's just, I just can't believe these writers turn in these scripts and someone goes, "Oh yeah, that's great. Let's roll with it."
Yeah, no, I'm very disappointed with Supergirl this season. I really am, because last season, like, it had its good and bad moments, but I was able to watch it. Like, I feel bad because there are times during the episodes where I'll watch it, I'll have it on, and I'll do something else.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
the hardcore fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Supergirl,
I,
it's gotten to the point that her supporting cast covers more and gets more screen time on the shows than Supergirl does. I mean, lately you might as well call it the Dreamer Show, because that's what it's been.
it's the arc.
Same with her sister Alex. For a long time it was, why don't we call this the Alex Show? And how many times more are we going to hear Alex say, as she said from season 1, "That's my sister"? I mean, everything is "that's my sister." I'm over it.
No.
Over it.
And there are some inconsistencies that have been going on.
Yeah.
Like things will flip a script. Like right now, just to spoil a little bit for what's going on, Supergirl right now is trapped in the Phantom Zone. Everybody's trying to get her back, and like
They should end the show like that. That's it. She's stuck in the Phantom Zone. Roll credits. She's never.
Yeah, we got Superman and Lois now. Just leave her there.
Yep.
I would literally, like, honestly, like, the way that the writing is going, thank God that this has like 20 something episodes, because I'll tell you one thing, this first arc, it's not written well. The story, I could see the story being good, but it's not written well. Everyone is far too depressed, because it's
Sounds
like, yo,
CW.
she's gotten in these situations before, and it shouldn't be a surprise to people. Like, hey, she's trapped here, and they're all like, what if she doesn't come back? What if we do this? What if we do this? I'm like, yo, give me like season 3, give me like season 2, season 3. All right, she's trapped, we got to do what we got to do. Like, everyone
do they
is
hang out in coffee shops a lot?
Everyone's so sad and mopey, and it's just like, I'm like, yo, it's gonna, like, she's gonna get back. And then I saw a spoiler on Instagram, and it's like, oh, this episode she comes back. I'm like, well, of course she does, but like, I'm really hoping that once she gets back, that they get on the right track, because it really feels like, because she was pregnant while they were doing a lot of these, like, while they were writing it. So I'm thinking, they're like, okay, how can we write her out so we can minimize her role to get more episodes produced? And I'm really hoping that once she gets,
we had 2 episodes that she wasn't even in. I mean, there was a Kara character, but it wasn't Melissa Benoist playing her for 2 episodes back to back. That's too long to go without her.
Especially when that's your main character,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well. I stopped watching that show when they killed off Red Tornado. He's one of my cool C-level favorite characters, and they killed him. He didn't even make it 1 episode. I was like, well, this show sucks.
That's pretty much how he exists in the comics too.
I know, but it's still cool.
He did get referenced in a recent episode, though.
Did he?
Yeah, they actually mentioned his name. So
But they wasn't. I mean, I haven't seen it since like season 1 or 2, and I think the Supergirl Red Tornado fight was season 1, if I remember correctly. But so they went that whole time. They didn't. Okay,
late.
Yeah, interesting. Very cool. Well,
I'm just disappointed, honestly. I was really looking forward to this season, and I'm just like, no.
It's a terrible show written by terrible people with great characters.
So did you all pick
I know,
stories?
and that's the worst part, because like if the cast sucked.
Yeah. I picked the story.
I guess that's the one good thing about tonight with not a lot of good news is with extra people on, we have plenty of time for story. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go first? Alrighty.
So, just getting done talking about the Supergirl TV series. What book would I happen to pick tonight? What a Supergirl book. So from 1974, we have a story that Carrie Bates wrote. It's called, it's from Supergirl Volume 1, issue number 9. And the story is called The Last Amazon. So if you take a look at the cover, we have Supergirl saving Queen Hippolyta. So let's see where the story takes us. We start out with a nice big splash there with Supergirl against a white gorilla, which will play into the story later on. The Super Amazon is the name of the story. And it starts out, we've got a guy and his girl doing a little huggy, doing a little kissy up on Smooch Point. And look what happens. Not because of the huggy or the kissy, but the car falls off the cliff. Luckily, Supergirl is there and she's able to save it. But what happens in true style? What does she realize? See that look of shock on her face? She's just realized the man that she saves is her boyfriend. And he's in that car with another girl. Dale, my boyfriend Dale, she says.
She lets the car go, and then the story's over.
Wait,
no. It went that way.
Is she just depressed the rest of the episode of the book?
What's that?
Is she just moping around depressed the rest of the book?
She is. So she abolishes them for parking on the San Andreas fault line, and they kind of give her a little lip back, and then she realizes it's Dale, and she says, and he said he would never even look at another girl but me, and he said that to Linda just last night. Not good. So Linda meets up with Dale, and she has some words with him. And he's like, that Supergirl's got a big mouth. And that kind of ends with Linda giving him the heave-ho, which I was happy to see. She does stand up for herself. She says, you can take as many girls up there as you want from now on, but I won't be one of them.
Oof.
So she leaves. She decides to get a little flying in as Supergirl, and she finds an airplane in peril. Well, being Supergirl, she's going to help, make sure that this plane doesn't crash. So she does. She helps him out. And what does she get in return? Lip from the pilot. He's angry with her because he waited 3 weeks for these weather conditions to be right to test out this ability on this airplane. But she spoiled it. He says, I was practicing a stunt for next week's aerial circus, but you spoiled it. And she says, but how could I have known? He says, stop the excuses, Supergirl. Next time, make sure you're needed before you start showing off those powers of yours. Women, who needs them? And she says, men, who needs them? The Supergirl, she just keeps flying on. She encounters a rock idol being mobbed by his fans. So she goes to rescue him. That backfires in her face. So she has had enough. 3 strikes in a row, she's done with men. She decides that she wants to go somewhere where she won't see their faces again. So as she starts flying, she realizes that she's not exactly sure where she's at. She's flown so far, she's in an area that she's not familiar with. And she sees this boat below. And the boat is in peril because it's attempted to be invaded by these atomic half-human, half-shark mutations. So on the boat, fighting these mutated sharks, we have Nubia, who, for those that don't know, is Wonder Woman's twin sister in a sense. She was sculpted from clay as well, right after Diana. So Supergirl helps out Nubia, although Nubia, in the process, gets gravely injured. So she realizes it's Queen Hippolyta on there, and they've got to get Nubia back to Paradise Island. So Supergirl says, let's get her back there. She's in dire need for medical attention. And Supergirl starts talking to Hippolyta. Remember, she's at a place now where she'll never have to see a man again, exactly what she wanted. So Hippolyta starts talking to her and very impressed with how Supergirl saved their lives today. And Hippolyta says something that never occurred to any of us before. Supergirl, I want you to think about joining our ranks to become an Amazon, my adopted daughter. So there's an offer right there. And just at that moment, as Supergirl is thinking about this invitation, she decides to accept. She brushes up on Amazonian history very quick. She shows the other Amazons her feats of strength, how she's at an Amazonian level. And she gets crowned an Amazon and Hippolyta's third adopted daughter. At that moment, Hippolyta is informed that Nubia is not doing well at all with her treatment. And what she needs is this rare Kalagi root, which is going to save her life. But the problem is this root is located about 2,000 miles away on this small island, nightmarish island, as Hippolyta says, with nightmarish dangers. And that's where Supergirl's like, I'm going to go get this. I'll be right back to get this to save Nubia. And she flies away. So she finally lands on this island after getting directions. And she finds the root. She thinks she's home free. And these totems dap her. She finds out inside the totems are witch doctors. I mean, are we talking 1970s here or what? But we have witch doctors that are hiding inside of those totems. And they've zapped her with what's going to affect Supergirl the most, magic. And we find out that this magic actually has stolen her powers. But here comes your white gorilla. Is it a white gorilla? In true 1970s fashions, it's a man on the island dressed as a white gorilla because he knows that that will frighten those witch doctors. So he essentially says to her that he's the last survivor from his race that are on this island. And now that he's saved her, he is in charge of her well-being. And she's like, I've got to leave. And she tries to fly off, realizing that her powers are gone. And as I said, he says, please listen, according to the laws of my ancestors, now that I've saved you from death once, I am responsible from you from this day forward. So she waits for him to check on her eventually. She pretends she's sleeping. He checks on her. She kind of Charlie Angel's karate chops him there. And she takes off to try to find these witch doctors. And there we have the white monkey and white monkey again, gorilla, appearing. This time it's Supergirl inside of the gorilla costume. And she was hoping that they would attack, that the witch doctors would attack the gorilla with their magical spears, which they did. And of course, it gave her her superpowers back. So she gets the root. She has her powers back. She's been gone so long, though. She wonders if it's too late to save Nubia. She gets back to the island. Hippolyta says it's not too late. They administer the root to Nubia, and we get a happy ending here as Nubia recovers. Hippolyta says to Supergirl, I don't understand, Kara. I thought you were ready to accept the Amazon way of life. And she says, I thought I was too, but my experience with Fong, he was the man on the island who was going to take care of her, taught me a lesson. Although he meant well, it was wrong of Fong to keep me on his island and shut me away from the rest of the world. And now I realize I was doing the same thing, exiling myself to Paradise Island, but the world needs me. So with that, She says that I will never forget your kindness, Hippolyta, and I'll always remember my one day as an Amazon. And Hippolyta says, and I'll always think of you as my third Amazon daughter, Kara. Farewell. And in our final panel, it feels good to be back in action as myself again. Guess I'll give men another chance after all.
Hooray.
Supergirl.
See that comment on the screen? That's exactly what this show should do. Make you want to read some old DC comics.
Right?
Yep.
What year did that come out, just by curiosity?
1974, the beginning of 74, January.
Okay.
So a few thoughts about that. I mean, obviously those chauvinistic statements certainly didn't age well, but I was very happy to see Linda Danvers take that stand of, well, it's not okay that you're seeing someone else. You don't have me anymore. I don't have to put up with that. I did like that. Obviously, being a Wonder Woman fan, even though she's not in the story, some of her supporting cast is. I enjoyed that. It got a little wonky with a man in a white gorilla costume. That gets a little wonky, but that's par for the course of some of these stories. But overall, I had read this issue in years, and I was happy to read it again. It's fun when you put it in place for the time period that it came out for. So it's like I said, it certainly doesn't age well the way it should with society, but it was just a fun read nonetheless. Just knowing what you're getting in store for. And the last thing I'll say too is pre-crisis Nubia only had, I want to say, maybe 4 or 5 appearances. And this is one of them. So you don't see Nubia very much. I think she was in 3 issues of Wonder Woman, this issue of Supergirl, and a Super Friends, and that was it. So,
yeah, I was surprised when you told us that Nubia had existed before Future State.
Yeah. She was really set up to be quite the character. And as a matter of fact, if you guys remember the Mego line they did a whole bunch of superhero action figures. Mego actually did a 12-inch Nubia doll in the Wonder Woman line. So, wow. I mean, Cheetah never got that, and she's considered Wonder Woman's major adversary, but Nubia got one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is my review on Supergirl number 9. Much better than the more recent episodes of the TV show.
Awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Real quick, I want to shout out some people that have showed up in the chat. We did have Unruly Simeon, Jaguar, another consistent guest on the show, Captain Comics.
Cap.
What's up, Captain? Ahoy.
My screen's too small to read that, but thank you for coming. BA Wars.
What up?
Swap for Comics. We had Sleepy Reader.
/ Sad Vision, because Vision's very sad.
And then somebody with a question for Lasso, Ranger Sly. He's asking who wrote that.
Harry Bates wrote that.
Harry Bates. Okay.
Harry.
Nice.
So,
I think I'll switch it back and forth between retro review and guests. So let's throw Tony up next.
Sure. I did something because I was reading the news off of the Justice League Dark, whatever. Like I said, a big Justice League Dark guy. So let me get to my cool little bob here. So I decided I was going to do a very undervalued character in the DC universe for sure. So I did my review on the first appearance of the Nightmaster in DC Preview Showcase number 82. And this is from 1979. So a little bit before my time, only slightly. But I would I'd have to go with Lasso that this issue has it's goofy in some areas, but it's pretty interesting. I love looking at some of these old comics here, especially from like the early 60s, mid 60s. But okay, so the Nightmaster, his name is Jim Rock, Jim Rook or Rook, however you want to say it, Jim Rook. We'll just call him Jim Rook. But he's actually a lead guitarist in a band, and he's playing at the Electric Band-Aid at a club in the East Village.
What?
The Electric Band-Aid.
It sounds like this come out in the 60s with a name like that.
Right? And, he's doing his thing, and he's playing in this club, and he's, talking politics, which, of course, is an absolute winner no matter where you are. It's an absolute great idea all the time. And some people disagreed with him. Who would have thought? So they confront him after the show, and they're going to beat up him, and they're going to beat up his girlfriend, Janie. So they run away, and they end up, see if I can find it here. They run up it. They find a storefront. Yeah, here it is. The right down here, this panel. It's called Oblivion Inc. So as they were running away from these thugs that were trying to beat them up, they noticed that the store, yesterday this was an abandoned lot. So where did this store come from? So they go inside and actually end up in another dimension. I guess the door was a gateway to another dimension. And the dimension is called Myra. So they go to the dimension of Myra, where he meets King Zolto. And it turns out that Jim is a secret descendant of an ancient warrior. That long time ago, this warrior had some offspring, and to save them, they threw them in another dimension, which happened to be Earth. And it turns out that because he's this ancient ancestor of this warrior, that he can control the Sword of Truth, which is the sword on the cover, this big, cool, magical sword. Not to be confused with the Lasso of Truth. So then they notice that his girlfriend, this is where it gets really weird, so hang in there, that his girlfriend had disappeared, and all of a sudden they're attacked by warlocks. So he uses this newfound sword to beat up these warlocks. And upon defeating the warlocks, they jump on a giant grasshopper to go to the Ice Witch, who can get them home. So they go to the Ice Witch, they get past her defenses, they beat up the warlocks, and they're trying to get home. And then it turns out that the Ice Witch, spoiler alert, is Jim Rock's girlfriend this entire time. But upon further interrogation,
don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah, right. Don't you hate it when you date the Ice Witch? From another dimension. So they interrogate the Ice Witch a little bit more, and it turns out that she's actually the Ice Witch using Jim Rock's girlfriend as a disguise. So they have to go further into the realm and find Jim Rock's girlfriend. And that's actually the end here. That's the abridged version of it. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the giant grasshopper. I think there aren't enough giant grasshoppers in DC Comics. There needs to be more. But so that was the first appearance of Nightmaster in DC Comics, DC Showcase Preview number 82 from 1969.
I have two things to say.
Yes.
Number one, I would like to order a giant grasshopper after dinner drink.
Your drink is called the Ice Witch.
Oh, okay. And number two, what was the name of that venue? The Band-Aid or something he was playing?
The Electric Band-Aid.
The Electric Band-Aid. And where was that at?
The East Village.
Okay, I want Copy, since he's the closest to us.
Yeah, we need you to go on location.
To be on location from there for next week's show.
Yeah,
and
going to be live.
I mean, to be honest with you, I was on location from a Walmart this afternoon on a YouTube stream. So if I can do that, you can go.
Yeah, there should be no problem. How far are you from New York City, Copy?
Well, I live in Long Island in Nassau County.
Right there.
Yeah.
I'm like
an Islanders fan we have. I'm a huge hockey buff. I heard you say that, and I immediately in my head live from Nassau Coliseum. It's the Islanders.
I wish.
Yeah. So you need to go to the East Village. If you do anything at all next week, we need you to go find the Electric Band-Aid in the East Village.
Yeah. And come on the show next week and do your review from there.
I'm actually looking it up to see if it's a real thing right now.
I'm sure it isn't.
I'm gonna have Copy do his book next, but I want to say something kind of interesting having Magic Lasso and Copy 801 on the show at the same time, because at least to me, you guys stick in a certain part of the brain for me, because you were both guys that when you showed up on the scene were like the biggest supporters of our channels. Like every video, every live stream, I'd see you guys. And then on top of it, you're both big DC guys. So I just think it's really cool. I mean, having you on for the second time, Ryan, and you on as well, Robert, just pretty cool. Two huge community supporters on the show.
Well, I thank you again for having me on. It's a really good fit. I really enjoy being in the chat too, because I've laughed a lot during the show and some of the stuff that you guys have said too. But I'm more than happy to pinch hit whenever someone isn't available.
And I know Copy, he's basically skipping work to come on with us, so it's much appreciated.
Sticking it to the man. I love it.
He's sick. He's sick.
Yeah, sick. Hopefully your boss doesn't watch us.
Yeah.
He's totally sick.
I'm a little
he's too busy
worried.
on TikTok.
A little worried about having Copy go before me, because my books will be a first appearance of these people on this show, and if there's anyone who would pick them, it would definitely be Copy, so we'll see.
Hey, I thought he was going to do a Supergirl book, knowing how big of a fan he is. That's like when you're like, who's going to go first? I'm like, I'm going first.
Well, first off, Tim, thank you so much for having me on. I know it's been interesting the past couple of weeks. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be on, and then it's like, wait, no.
Just kidding.
And then then last week I felt really bad because you guys made a thumbnail, and I'm like, wow, I'm on a thumbnail and I'm in the chat. This is false advertisement right now.
This is fake news at its finest.
Fake news.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's no
fake news.
It happens, man. Like, as you could tell, if you watch our show any amount of time, it even happens to us that I'll be there in 3 hours for the show. Guess what? I'm not going to be there. So.
Yep. But the record still goes for me. I'm still the guy every show. I'm still over a year long.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
somebody's got to have the perfect attendance, just like in school.
Hey, in school it was the opposite. I was the one with the opposite of perfect attendance.
Tony has perfect attendance on the show. Hasn't worked Fridays in 3 years.
Boss is always like, why can't you work Fridays, Tony?
It's the pleasures of working for the government. You don't really actually do anything. So you're always nice and rested.
But let's throw Copy up. What did you bring to review, good sir?
All right, so I've had finals. So I haven't had a lot of time to really read over too much stuff, but I recently got a copy of, well, not a copy, but another copy of Batman Superman #9, which is ironic because Lasso had a Supergirl issue for #9, and I have Batman Superman #9 featuring Supergirl. So pretty cool, happy accident.
Yeah.
But just to so this is from Batman Superman Volume 1. This was her. So this is part 2 of her reintroduction into DC continuity post-crisis. The title is called Supergirl of Krypton. Supergirl from Krypton, part 2. And story starts out. We got Batman and Superman looking over her pod, trying to figure out, what makes it tick, how did it get here? And Superman discovers that there is a button that simulates sunlight. And Clark goes, oh, it feels like sunlight. Well, that explains why her powers manifested so quickly. And of course, if anybody's even seen the movie that came out around this time, they did a retelling of literally this whole arc. Batman screwing around with the ship, trying to figure out. Supergirl just kind of busts through, scared out of her mind. And, Superman and Batman are like, "What's chasing you? What's going on?" And it turns out it's Crypto, looking super pissed, So, back to the title page, she hides behind Superman. And of course, Batman's still doing his thing. But he says, "I find it fun." And he goes, "I find it odd that Crypto doesn't like her." And Superman goes, "Crypto doesn't like anyone. The dog hates everybody." Literally right there at the bottom. So, after all this, Supergirl's very a little bit traumatized, but she's got a lot to think about. And Batman ends up, sneaking up on her a little bit, and she goes, "You'll never know how I feel and what I'm going through." And this is one of the times where Batman kind of lowers his guard a little bit, because he says, "Then explain it to me until I do." And I'm like, okay, he's trying to give a chance. But they go and they look at the very famous image, of Clark's parents holding up Krypton. And Batman's still trying to quiz her, because at this point, this is her reintroduction. Batman finds it all very funny that she came and that she has very few memories of what happened during Krypton. And then she recounts her origin, what happened to Krypton and how she got to Earth. And Cal says to her, "Oh, you know what? It's like, I think she's ready." And Batman says, "No, you're not. You're making a mistake." And she's like, "Ready for what?" And we cut to Apocalypse, and we see Granny Goodness with one of her students, Precious, and we find out that what's going on is they're trying to find a new captain to the Honor Guard. And we get all the Furies over here versus Precious, because in order to become captain of the Honor Guard, apparently you have to defeat all the Furies. And she loses in like 5 seconds flat. And we get a taste of what's going to happen later on, because Darkseid goes, "Bring me the girl who fell to Earth." So remember that, because it'll play a little bit of a part later on in this. And we see Clark walking with Supergirl throughout the city, and they're having a little bit of a heart-to-heart. And they get to the park in Metropolis, and she realizes, seeing his statue with the eagle, like the famous cover from the famous John Byrne cover, she's realizing that, being Superman isn't just, "I got these powers, I'm going to go help people." It's like an ideology. And while they're in the park, Clark gets attacked, and Supergirl's just kind of like, "What's going on?" She's pretty shaken up a bit. And Clark changes back into his Superman outfit, and he's being attacked by Harbinger. And Kara's still confused, but we see Batman come by and tries to save all of them. And we see Batman come down while Superman's fighting Harbinger. He decides to fight Artemis. And we get a little bit of a backstory of who Artemis is, just in case anybody's not aware. She's one of the fiercest Amazon warriors. And he goes, "She won't fall easy, but she will fall." And he ends up getting a tranquilizer to her right here. So you can see real close, we got a little dart sticking out of her neck. So she's down. Superman's still fighting Harbinger. But while all this is going on, we see a Lasso get Supergirl, and she's wondering what's going on. And then we see, Superman and Batman both see who it is, and it turns out to be Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman says, "I'm taking this girl, and you won't stop me." And it's kind of like the shocking reveal, to be continued. Why is Wonder Woman trying to get her? What's their plan? Why haven't they talked about it? It's for being a second issue, this really brings the story along. And this is just a great example of why this entire Batman Superman run was fantastic. Very well written. The art's gorgeous. Good characters. And it's also written by Jeff Loeb, who is a fantastic writer. But yeah, that is my little recap of this number.
Very nice. That got me thinking.
Really good series.
When you were talking about a lot of the crypto stuff, and I'm sure some of it's manipulated CG, but I actually looked to make sure it wasn't just a CG portrayal completely. But that dog that actually plays Crypto in the Titan series is so good. That might be the best acting animal on TV. But
Really?
it's a real dog that the cast is not CG. It's his name's Pepsi, and he's a rescue dog from Kansas City.
We're gonna have to ask you to wait and come back on to have this discussion of who the best furry animal on TV
We're gonna
is.
debate
Until Dave gets back.
Missing from the panel.
Exactly. Our expert on that is absent. So.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So that it just leaves me. Make myself big. Can I make myself big?
There he is.
There we are.
There you go.
So when me and Dave come up with the idea for this show, something I wanted to do was highlight little stories that are just fantastic stories nobody talks about. If you love characters, you love story, not big keys, not the big death metal storylines, but just these little issues that people would pass by in dollar bins. And talking about somebody I was worried that Robert might show before me. We've never done Justice Society on this show. And this is one of my favorite stories. I'm going to be doing a quick story from JSA Classified issues 17 and 18. This is a great series. Honestly, I don't think I've ever gotten a JSA book that wasn't good. So just jumping right into it. Basically, Rick Tyler has premonitions, things that are going to happen an hour in the future. And this is called the Venom Connection. So what he sees happening in an hour is Bane. You talk about a cool crossover, the Hourman family and Bane of all things. Bane's throwing his dad around, so he's rushing to rescue his dad. And basically his dad, Rex, for those that don't know, the original Hourman, he's getting ready to, get busy with his wife. His wife is trying to get him to take some Viagra, and there's some fun jokes. And he's putting the Viagra away, we'll save that for later. And he's setting it next to his bowl of Miraculo. I forget exactly how to say it. One quick thing to mention before we get too deep into the story, his dad takes pills that give him an hour of strength. Well, the son Rex actually formed an addiction to it, and he takes it differently. It gets injected from his gauntlets into his body, and it keeps him from being addicted, basically. So Bane shows up, starts attacking his dad, and Rick gets there in time to fight Bane. We'll see if we can show a close-up of it. Sorry, it's always backwards here. You can see Rick triggered on his gauntlet. And from this point on, you start seeing a timer countdown. So basically, he knocks Bane outside, and Bane's like, hey, I'm not trying to fight you guys. I'm coming here because I need your help to save my life, which, of course, stops Rick. And he tells a story of he was addicted to Venom. So immediately he's tugging at Rick's heartstrings, and he went back to Santa Prisca to rid it of the warlords, the drug warlords. And upon going there, he found out that a much more addictive version of Venom is going around, but it doesn't make people as powerful. And in a fit of rage, because he thought he's the only one that has access to Venom, he got rid of it. He goes and straight attacks the warlords and gets overpowered by all these Venom users. And the Venom users basically reattach the thing to his brain and inject him with this new Venom. But the only catch to this new Venom is it's so addictive that you can't stop. If you stop, it's automatic death. So he thinks there's some similarities between the drug that Rex invented that gives them their superpowers and Venom. And he thinks there's a lead at Bannerman Industries, which is where Rex used to work when he invented the drug. So him and Rick, the current Hour Man, and there's a whole spiel about these drug warlords sent him there because they want him to kidnap Rex to work for them to, make more drugs. And they're watching the JSA. If the JSA get mobilized, they're going to kill the citizens that Bane cares about. So Bane and Rick go there. They break in and they actually spook a security guard who runs and trips over a ledge. He's going to fall into a vat of acid. And Rick's trying to save him. But as you can see, his time is ticking down. From the time he started fighting Bane, he runs out of strength, drops the guy, and Bane actually jumps across and saves this guy. So he's really gaining trust with Rick. So they go to the office, break in and steal a file, and this guy has the formula to the Miraculo. I can't pronounce the drug that gives the Hour Man strength. They go back to Rex. I believe that actually jumps into the next issue 18 here. Just a 2-issue story. And Rex is like, I'm the only one that knows this formula. The only person that's ever known it besides me is Rick. There's no way they could have this information. And Bane's like, we just went and stole it from your old office. They had it. And then all of a sudden, Bane grabs a hold of Rick and pulls his gauntlets off, which of course means Rick can't access super strength. Basically, he tells this was all a ruse. He wants Rex. He wants the plans. He wants revenge on anyone connected to Venom. And it turns out that basically these two drugs are the same. These people took the Miraculo drug, altered it, and that's what Venom is, which sort of makes sense. It's a drug that gives people super strength. So he wants revenge on everybody. He's taking Rex, and he's going to kill him. A fight ensues, and basically all the warlords and everything, that was just a lie. Like, he's not back on Venom. He killed all the warlords. He's seeking revenge. Rick tries to fight him and actually gets hung by his cape on a tree. So Bane thinks he's dead. So he takes Rick and leaves. Rick, on the way to confront Bane, still without his gauntlets, sees another future thing. An hour from now, it looks like Bane's killing his dad. And, basically we get a showdown. Rex is tied up in a chair in a cell that doesn't unlock. The only way he could break it is with super strength. And his gauntlets are sitting on a table. Well, basically, Rex feigns that he's going to go get his gauntlets. Bane overpowers him and throws him into another cell, because he's just human, and tosses him some venom. Basically, the ultimate kind of payback, like, I want you to go back to being an addict if you're going to save your dad. Well, it turns out when Rick was going for his gauntlets, he actually went for the detonator. to the bomb that's around his dad. Bane breaks open the cell to get to it, and in doing so, he puts on Rick's gauntlets and takes the Miraculo jug. Basically is like, damn you, making me take these drugs again. Rips open the cell. Well, basically, Rick throws the detonator into his dad's cell, so Bane has to go break that cell open. Well, he just picks up one of the pills that his dad has and sticks it in his dad's mouth because, he can't take the pill. And his dad, of course, becomes Hour Man and just beats the crap out of Bane. And Hour Man sets off the detonator as they're escaping. And the rest of the JSA show up, and that's pretty much it. But a really cool story. I love the... Let me make myself small. I love the connection with Venom and Miraculo. This period of time, DC was really about legacy and interconnecting their characters, and little stories like this are so cool. If you love these, I guess what are considered C&D characters, but characters I love, and just, even seeing a story with the 2 Hour Men together is really great. And it's a weird crossover with Bane, but it fits so well. A really well done 2 issues, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not a story I'm familiar with, so I'll have to check it out.
Weird Al. I didn't notice that, but yeah. Speak about one of the masters of nerddom.
Yeah, right.
My wife's mad because I've got my girls singing a couple Weird Al songs now. I don't know why, because I've literally watched Mandalorian once, and somehow, even as little as they are, they love Baby Yoda. And for those who know, Weird Al has a song about Yoda, which they love.
I got my little girl running around the house yelling Shazam at the top of her lungs.
Nice. Does anything happen? Like, is there ever a burst of thunder or anything? Or?
I'm hoping, praying, like one of them, will do something. That'd be kind of nice.
One day,
that'd be awesome if during a thunderstorm it's just Shazam crack.
If it really happened, Tony'd walk out and there's a hole in his roof, the walls busted out, his daughter's gone, and it's like, yes.
Yeah, I mean that's great, but I mean I got this hole in my ceiling now.
Yeah,
this is coming out of your allowance for the next 20 years.
Turns into like a 25-year-old.
Right there. I always forget to do at the beginning.
And fix the ceiling.
I want to tell the chat, in the description is links to everybody's channel. So definitely, if you are not subbed, if you're watching live, watching on the replay, sub these fine gentlemen and their channels up. I need to remember to start doing that at the beginning of the show. But I guess that brings us to our book show. I don't think we warn copy about this, but
make him
I
go
got
last
some good
then.
stuff.
Okay,
I got some good stuff.
Let's just go the same order we did the review. Do your book show and shout out your socials and anything you might have coming up on your channel this coming week.
Cool. I'm Magic Lasso. I'm Ryan. Look for me by searching for Magic Lasso on YouTube. Appreciate the sub. On the path to 500 right now with subscribers. That'd be awesome if you'd be part of my journey there. I just dropped earlier this week. I talked about this last week on the show. I won this huge prize lot of comic books, some silver and some bronze, and some copper too, from the Classic Comic Collector. So I did an unboxing of that this past week. This upcoming week on my channel, I just have another comic book editions video, some books back issues that I've added into my collection recently, including checkmarking another one off of my top 12 goal list for 2021. So look for that video dropping Tuesday on my channel. Once again, search for Magic Lasso on YouTube. Thank you. And for my book show, what I decided to bring, so DC Special Series was a book that literally went through so many incarnations in its run. It was regular comic book size. For a while, it was treasury size, and it actually was digest size. And issue number 19 of DC Special Stories had an original new origin of Wonder Woman. And as a child, this was the first time that I ever knew how Wonder Woman came to be, was by reading this little digest. See the Legion of Superheroes on the back. We also have stories in here, the origin of the Superman Batman team, The Mystery of Elongated Man, How Aquaman Got His Powers, Legion of Superheroes story, a Hawkman story, The Origin of Robin, and Supergirl's origin as well. And one final thing, if you look at the cover, you see Elongated Man on there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting in the French ads for this book, Elongated Man is wiped away, and in his place is the Flash. So I don't know why. I guess Elongated Man wasn't established over in Italy, and Flash was. But there's a little trivia for you on this cover image. This is 1979.
1979. Very
I
cool.
actually have a couple of those. I've got the Justice League ones. I've got a Green Lantern one, and I have the Adventure Comics one.
Oh, nice.
I had one of those as a kid. I don't think I have it now.
I can't show anything.
But it had some of the Starro stories. Not the original, but like when he showed up in like the 170s, 180s. And that was like, I think the very first Justice League anything I read. And man, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, most of those digests too were usually reprints. In some cases, like this one, it's one original story, and then the rest were reprints. So,
but DC Specialty series, I love any of those like Bronze Age, like DC Superstars, DC Super Spectacular. I really love those series. They're so cool.
Yeah, I do too.
Alrighty, let's throw Tony up. What do you have coming up, my good sir?
Check out my YouTube channel if you really enjoy disappointing food. Then I have the video for you. I just did the Wonderland at Home. See if I have it with me. The Justice League in a box Snyder Cut inspired meal kit.
I think it really nailed the theme of the Snyder Cut movie.
Who was it? Super Rust said that I must have gotten the Whedon Cut box.
That's funny
because it was bad. I've been chatting with a few people offline about it, and even they're just like, at that kind of price, you expect it to be gourmet, but you could take half that money, go to your local grocery store, and get like really awesome dinner.
I thought they nailed it. I mean, Martian Manhunter loves Oreos, and it even came with Mars dust on it. That was so realistic.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was mold, but all I know is I wasn't going to gamble, so it wasn't for me. But
shit.
On my book show, I got I couldn't think of anything to grab, so I just grabbed something. And I think I've shown this before. This is the first appearance of the Arkham Knight in comics. From the prequel to the video game, the comic book series Arkham Knight Genesis, and this one is indeed signed by Peter Tomasi. So, and he's going to be at our local con here in October. So happy to see him again in our neighborhood. Speaking of YouTube channels, next week, not this week, but the following week, we have a video on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have Magic Mondays. We have Tales from the Green Lantern Corps on Tuesdays, and Wonderful Wednesday. And that is the following week. Very excited to have all those on.
Awesome.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
All right. What do you have going on, Robert?
All right. So I'll do some books. So I went to a little like comic book sale that's every couple weeks in the Bronx, and I picked up 6 books. I got this is Justice League Task Force 0, still in the poly bag.
That's cool.
Wow, I didn't even know that came in a poly bag.
I didn't know either until I got there. And we got Superman Adventures 23. Cool live wire cover going on.
I was just gonna say, nice live wire.
And then I got Lasso's gonna like this one, and you will too, Tony. I got Wonder Woman 57. I have the A, but I didn't have the B.
Nice.
That is nice.
This is
that
from
the deceased variant.
No, this is from the Witching Hour storyline.
The Witching Hour, yeah. Awesome.
Fantastic story. And I am collecting all of the Justice League of America crossovers with the JSA. So this one's for Tim. Justice League of America number 172.
Awesome.
Gotta love that. And then I picked this up. I don't know when this is from, but this is Cursed 80-page giant DC horror.
Very cool.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago around Halloween that came out.
That is awesome.
I saw that and I saw that. I'm like, I gotta get this. It's like the EC covers. And then this book, I got this at a hell of a steal. I have been passively trying to get this book for quite some time before it goes up anymore. But I got a very nice, well-presenting mid-grade copy of this.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
This
nice.
is DC Superstars number 11. This is the very first Zatanna cover appearance and the very first book-length Zatanna solo story.
Yeah, I've got one too. Very, very big. If you're into Zatanna at all, that's definitely a must-have for sure.
And as an FYI to everybody, if you're familiar with her maxi series from the 2010s, I guess, the very last issue just sold raw on eBay for $250 in high grade.
Jesus.
Holy moly. I had been on the fence for years about that when my wife just switched to me. But getting that series, it was already pricey because of the Adam Hughes covers, and now it's just insane.
Yeah, Zatanna's really blown up now, so
I had a chance probably in January to get all but 4 issues of that series, and 2 of them slabbed for about $300, and I'm like, that's too much. But kicking myself now.
So, yeah.
I have the whole mini series in high grade, mini maxi series. I ended up buying it 3 years ago for $100.
Wow,
it's reasonable.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, you're going for $100 now. That's
I'm
for
not
sure.
selling it though.
I'll give you $5.
Lucky if you get one book.
6.
Give you 5.
Weirdly
$5
enough,
in a trade.
I forgot a book show, but grabbed something that was close to me, and then it's funny because Robert showed a book from the series. Right here's my Batman Superman box, so I just quickly grabbed the Annual 4, which is debated upon as the first Batman Beyond in continuity.
You're right. You're right.
On my channel, of course, you're here. You know, I'm the Comic Collector on Instagram. I'm Tim_the Comic Collector. And this last week, I did Should I Sell My Comic Collection video. I did my Complete Teen Titans Volume 4. I should finish that with Part 5 this week. And I did do a Top 50 last week. A Top 50 Comics in My Collection video for those that are interested.
I tried to make a video for you, bro. I can't do 50. That's way too much.
I'm planning on doing one for you. I just haven't gotten that far yet.
I can't do a 50. I'll do a 10. That's what you're getting. You're getting a 10.
So next week, are we on your show, Tony?
What's that?
Are we on your channel next week, Tony?
We're on the Fanboys channel next week.
So Fanboys channel, I forgot to leave a link to that in my description, but
so that'll be content on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, go to if you really want to find the Fanboys right this second, go to my community tab and scroll down. You'll find a link to a video on there. So,
absolutely, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
So yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for coming on again. Hopefully, I think me and Tony have planned it, but never told Lasso that we're going to keep bringing him on.
Yeah, he's on it next week too.
And then, of course, Robert, you're always welcome on whenever you get the chance. So thank you for coming on.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So, I'll come on when able and willing.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. We always appreciate it. Like I said again, go sub up everyone in my description, and then track down the Fanboys channel so you don't miss next week's episode. And with that, see you next week.
Bye. Foo is a furry.